My name is Daniel Cruz. Adolf Hitler, Fidel Castro, and Kim Jong. What do all these men have in common with this man? Muammar al-Gaddafi. They were all notorious dictators, and they were known for their violent acts in their countries and in the world. Gaddafi was one of the most powerful dictators of our time. He got his ideas from his early childhood and used them to develop his form of government. Throughout his years in power, he was involved in many violent acts around the world and in Libya, and was finally killed and his era ended. First, I'll talk to you a little bit about Gaddafi's early life. Muammar al-Gaddafi was born in 1942 in Sirte, Libya. He was the only child in his family. Gaddafi belonged to the Bedouin tribe. They were mostly known for animal herding, and he received the traditions in the tribe helped Gaddafi develop his socio-political ideas. After receiving instructions and the teaching of the Quran, Gaddafi started his education in the city of Sirte. His family then moved to Tripoli, where Gaddafi continued his education but was quickly kicked out for organizing student organizations. And then he continued his education in Mizoram by completing his high school and continuing to secretly organize a revolutionary movement. Second, I'll tell you a little about his government. Gaddafi explained that his political concept came from the studies of the Quran and the traditions in Islam. The first part of his theory involved the political aspect, the second part involved the economic aspect, and the third was the social. According to an article titled Muammar al-Gaddafi, Gaddafi said that the social aspect of his Green Book describes the role of family and woman equals to him the terms of dignity and right. In 1986, acts of foreign terrorism became more common. Gaddafi started to draw more attention when Palestinian terrorist attacks happened at Rome and Vienna airports. President Ronald Reagan blamed Libya for involvement, but Gaddafi denied it. Then, on January 1st, 1986, Reagan ordered all U.S. citizens to leave Libya. Then, on April 14, the United States bombed several Libyan installations, killing 100 people, including Gaddafi's daughter. And then Gaddafi said it was an act of terrorism by the United States. Before the bombing, Gaddafi was involved in the Black September movement. Palestinian terrorists were blamed for the 1972 massacre of Israel Olympic athletes in Munich. And Gaddafi was spending a lot of money in his organization, a number of Islamic groups. In the article Gaddafi's Last Stand, Gosh states that a Gallup poll showed that 29% of young Libyans were unemployed, and 93% of the 29% described their unemployment as struggling and suffering. In 1986, Libyan agents bombed a Berlin disco popular with the U.S. servicemen, killing 2 sergeants and a Turkish woman. Gaddafi then organized the bombing of the Pan Am Flight 103. It took the lives of 270 people, and it was blamed on Libyan agents. After the bombing, Libya was put in an economic hole where they were forced to pay $2.7 billion of compensation to families of the victims. After 40 years of power, Gaddafi was finally killed on October 20, 2011. Some people looked at Gaddafi's death as a historic moment, but nothing is complete till Libya rebuilds. Libya still has a long way ahead of them. It comes with difficult challenges in rebuilding the country. In a newspaper, the Financial Express, an article was written about Gaddafi's death. According to Chowdhury, the Gaddafi era is not over. It still remains to be seen how the post-Gaddafi era would be for Libya. Chowdhury states that the country has been going through a lot of debates and involved in the Arab Spring, which is a wave of protest that goes on through many countries, including Libya. To conclude, Gaddafi turned the whole country of Libya around, but in a negative way. His form of government started when he was young, and as the time went on, he used it it became more powerful and powerful, and it got him to ruling Libya for 40 years. With Gaddafi now dead, the question remains, what does Libya have to do to rebuild?